feeder fish, viewer mail. Feeder fish, viewer mail. Feeder fish. Mavis Burns from Atlanta, Georgia writes, I got my first feeder fish Harley and Davidson at a pet store. One was very rambunctious and the other was calm and docile. I was worried about how they would get along with my other two feeder fish, but so far they get along just fine. Gladys Whistler of Miami, Florida writes, I'm 93 years old and live in a nursing home. Every day this nice lady comes by with her feeder fish named Elvis, and she just brings him around and lets him play with us for a minute. I think it's somewhat degrading, but other seniors seem to like it. Jeff Commode of Hamilton, Ontario writes, I love my feeder fish. One time I decided to take a bath with my feeder fish, and one of them swam up into my urethra. It was very painful. I still take baths with my feeder fish from time to time, but now I wear swim trunks. I suggest anyone who wants to take a bath with their feeder fish wear swim trunks as well. Gary Sanders of Austin, Texas writes, I own about 70 feeder fish. I keep them in a 40-gallon tank in my rec room. Sometimes I like to moisten my balls and rub fish food all over my private area and dip my testicles into their tank and let them nibble my balls. It feels very neat. Mohammed of the Boreal Forest writes, about 2 years ago I chose to move to the forest to live a primitive lifestyle and didn't have enough room in my A-frame shelter for my feeder fish, so I left them in the care of my nephew. 2 weeks later, my brother flew into my camp on an isolated lake via floater plane to tell me that my feeder fish had died. I was so devastated that I demanded that my brother bring me my deceased feeder fish so I could hold a funeral service and bury them towards Mecca. Feeder fish, viewer mail.